Come with me. I have something to show you.
Oh no, not the hat.
The hat. Come. I have something to show you. See these? This is food, right? So these little bad boys can grow. Say hi, Peep. Kitty. And like these right here, these beautiful roses are growing from the ground. And they started off as little seeds. And we water them so that they can grow. So everything needs to grow, including our faith. And that's what we're talking about today, is growing our faith. And we'll see how Jesus grows his disciples' faith. Good morning, Surrender Youth. I'm excited about today's lesson, and I pray it would inspire all of us to believe more. Because the most important part of our religion is our faith. We need to develop a trust in the unseen. We need to believe more. Because when we start to believe certain things are true, it affects our reality and how we see our lives and how we choose to live it. So today we're going to cover power and authority. Not the power and authority so many people today love to exercise, but real power and authority. Power and authority over nature and its laws. The power to bend or suspend those laws of creation laid down at the beginning. We're talking about the power to do the impossible, things only God can do. As we grow in our faith, we grow in our trust that God's power and authority has been given to Jesus, the Christ. Believing that nothing is impossible for God takes time and experience, but be encouraged because it took time for the 12 disciples to believe also. Their faith increased over time. Their faith wasn't complete until they all witnessed Jesus rise from the dead. So when he tells them after he's risen that all authority in heaven and on earth had been given to him, they really believed. And that is our goal also, to really believe that God the Father has given God the Son all power and authority. Not only that, but he sent us a helper, an invisible Jesus that would live inside of us, reminding us of what Jesus said, convicting us when we're wrong, resurrecting us when we feel dead inside. The helper is power. The helper is the Lord, and we must follow him. The helper gives us real authority and freedom. The world may not see this power and authority in you, but they will feel it as you share Christ with them. Jesus promised this power to us, and he gives it to those who believe. After Jesus fed the 5,000, he went up on the mountain alone. Now it's nighttime. It's really dark outside. And now we've been waiting for Jesus a while. And we've decided to go across the sea to Capernaum without him. So we get into the boat, and the wind starts to really pick up. And the waves now are getting really rough. It's a 4-mile trip across the sea, and we've struggled through at least 3.5 miles. We're tired. We can't see much. Not making too much progress. The wind is kicking our butts. Now all of a sudden, we see a ghost. Or something, or someone sneaking up behind us on the water. Can you imagine? It's so dark that you can hardly see anything. It's super windy, and you're tired from rowing. The water is wild, and it's tossing the boat back and forth, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, someone is approaching your boat from behind you, but it's not another boat, it's someone on foot. Now, I hate when people sneak up behind me and scare me, especially when they come from a place I wasn't expecting. The disciples were struggling to look forward to the shore, desperately trying to row through the storm. The last thing they expected was someone to walk up on them. I mean, come on the water, I would have screamed. And when you're really scared like that, it can be paralyzing. So then Jesus says, "It is I. Don't be afraid." Oh, okay, it's just you. Phew. Now I'm not afraid of being murdered. but I'm still filled with a reverent fear. I mean, walking on water is impossible. Humans should not be able to do this. Jesus was walking 3.5 miles on water in a storm. Jesus has power and authority over nature, over gravity, over molecules, over everything. All power and authority in heaven and on earth. And now the disciples see it with their own eyes. They are growing in their faith. So they let Jesus in the boat. And as soon as he got in the boat, they reached their destination. Very mysterious. Well, the very next day, all of the 5,000 people who saw the disciples leave on a boat without Jesus get into boats themselves in a search for Jesus. And we will see what happens with them next week. But for now, let's see what sticks out in this story. Jesus went up a mountain by himself. No doubt he was praying. He must have felt the winds pick up. He must have been able to see his disciples struggling through the storm. So he goes through the impossible to get to them. He is not afraid to break the very laws of nature to get to them. That is good news. That means he sees us. He cares about us. He knows the storms that we face, and he will come to us, even when it seems impossible. This is how he displays his power and authority, and it's meant to strengthen our faith, to help his people believe more. We need to be convinced that he can do the impossible. We need to be able to trust him with our lives. We need to believe that Jesus is the Son of God, that he is equal with God, and that he has been given all power and authority in heaven and on earth. There is no higher authority than the authority of Christ. He is the highest power, and because of this fact, he's willing to share it to anyone who believes. He gives the power to become children of God. It doesn't matter who you are or what your status is. It doesn't matter how old or young you are. It doesn't even matter if you're rich or poor or what country you're from. It doesn't matter who your parents are. He gives the power because it's his to give. The disciples needed to see Jesus' power displayed to believe. Their faith grew over time. And as we hear and believe their eyewitness accounts of Jesus' authority displayed, our faith will grow, and we will begin to live in faith that nothing is impossible for Jesus. And that is our goal. This is what Jesus wants from us, to believe in him, that all authority in heaven and on earth has been given to him, so that we can go and make disciples of all nations and tongues, teaching them to obey all that he has commanded, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So I pray that God would bless you this week, and until next time, I'll see you later.